Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, a special guest here. But before we get to the weather, I know y'all noticed this little patch right here, and I'll give you three guesses. And number one, no, Gail didn't get mad at me, okay? But number two, what was funny, I was at Dr. Sunseri's office, and he cut out a little skin cancer, which is, everything went fine, everything's good. But I wanted to leave it on just as a reminder to you to get your skin checked on a regular basis. He said that's what's helped me immensely. I started years ago on that yearly evaluation, and he's so pleased with it. And I told him I'm going to quit coming to him if he keeps cutting me up, but he does a great job, so I'll give a plug to Dr. Sunseri. So let's move on with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, a hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. We're looking at a high today of 80, a low of 72. Pretty warm day. We've got some wind coming in. It's going to be blowing about 10 to 15 today. Water temperature is staying right at 77 degrees. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Panama City, Coca-Cola. Good folks down there. The Apalachicola, Brunstown, are even 3 foot. And check out the Choctawhatchee at Caryville. It's almost on the ground. It's at 1.8 this morning. So be aware of that if you're getting on. That's a low river situation there. You can walk across in the upper end. I've been told by several people they're walking across the river. All right, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Great tides all week long. Good strong tides, the strongest of the month. Low this morning at 10:53 and high right after midnight at 12:02. And like I said, that wind's coming in pretty good at east-southeast. Let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and welcome our guest this morning, Chris Kramer of Kramer Marine. Welcome to the show.
Coach, thanks for having me.
Oh man, we've been talking, and we're going to run out of time. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to try to get everything covered, but Chris and I have so much in common, and we love to fish and all, but he's quite a fisherman. We're going to get to the fishing, but let's tell, a lot of folks know you and know your background and all, but let's quickly, just tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, we could just have the whole show on the Florida Gators.
We've been talking about the Gators a lot.
But I was born and raised right here in Panama City. I actually lived in the Cove my whole life other than 4 years in Gainesville. Grew up fishing mostly in the bays. I had a really good friend and mentor that took me around and showed me East Bay, West Bay, Crooked Island, St. Joe Bay, out into the pass. And, you know, we'd get up on the weekends, and Dad would take us out, and we'd troll the whistle buoy, and we'd do laps around the whistle buoy. And back when they had the C&D buoys, we would troll those, and it was a little beyond the early first stage areas, but this is home, and you know we're blessed to have what we have here and to be able to enjoy it. And you know we're coming into a different time of season with hunting, but we get to do a little bit of that too.
I told him he could do an outdoor show as much activity as he and his family does in outdoors. But your roots are very interesting. Your granddad on your dad's side was a fisherman, and he was legendary in his area down there. And then Tommy Thomas, your granddad on your mom's side, two legendary granddads. And, so you knew them. I'm
the product of the Republican Party.
You definitely are. And your granddad on your dad's side loved fishing too.
Oh, he did. He was. I got to spend a lot of quality time. We were talking about this earlier with him later before he passed. And he was part of a boat club in St. Pete. And we'd go down and hop on a boat and go out. And I remember one day we caught, a boat full of sheep's head, and brought them back and ate them. It was just really a heck of a memory down in that area. But there's plenty of stories about fishing for trout and hurricanes that my dad's told me about, and it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and your dad loves outdoors too.
He does, and he got me into it. Yeah. He wasn't he spearfished growing up when I was young, and stopped doing that. And he really got me started in the outdoors, and I got to hunt with him the first few times, and then I really just hook, line, and sinker. I was all in it, and whatever I could. I can remember wanting to float a piece of plywood out off the beach at our house to just get out there and go fish. So again, he lit the flame, and I just carried it on.
Well, it's been remarkable watching you and all the things that you've been doing in the outdoors, and your boys, your family, you're doing a lot with them.
Can't help it. They love doing it.
How old are they?
I've got 3 boys, blessed with 3 boys, and a wife who we met in Gainesville actually, and she loves the outdoors. If it wasn't for that, it wasn't for their real love for it, it would be difficult to get away to do much of it. But they love doing it. They love playing golf. They love sports. In fact, my oldest is coaching the younger 2 in football.
Cool.
And then their whole season's coming up with football, and we're working the chain crew on a couple of games at Bay High, and they love scalloping. They love inshore fishing, offshore fishing. They love hunting. They love it all. So we just go do it together.
That is awesome. I really get tickled seeing your pictures you post and all, and they got a whole new nativity.
They do, all 3 of them. My alma mater.
Yeah, Miss Moody. Have they had her yet?
They have, and they've.
Steve Spurrier's daughter. We talked about Miss Moody.
Yep. It's worked out pretty good in their favor to be Gator fans.
Okay, we have a bunch of pictures, a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about Kramer Marine, and Chris coming on as a big sponsor of Panhandle Outdoors, and we're going to talk a little bit about trucks. I thought I had a nice truck till Chris drove up in his truck this morning. Man, he's got a real nice truck. So.
We'll just swap keys on the way out.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. Glad you're with us this morning. Our guest today is Chris Kramer of Kramer Marine, a long-standing family, and probably a lot of y'all remember his granddad, Tommy Thomas, and some great stories about him. He was true legendary. But we're going to move on now about, we got, prove that y'all caught some fish, and you sent me some pictures to prove that. But I showed this picture last week, but I wanted Chris to come on and talk about this picture here. So here we go right here. Tell us about what happened here.
Well, if y'all remember, I don't know, it's probably about a week or so ago, we had a 10-day stretch of really, really good weather. And this happened to be on a Saturday that the Gators weren't playing. So we decided we'd run offshore and see if we can find some fish. And later in the year for snapper season, during the main season, snapper fishing was kind of tough. But we went out to an area that really showed a lot of fish in the season, but we weren't able to get them to bite. And we went back out to that same area and finally found some that were hungry, and caught a couple good fish. And that one in the middle was not a red snapper.
That's a beeliner.
That one in the middle.
I saw the snapper when I first saw the picture.
Well, we thought it was too when it came up. But that's my youngest son, Carter, and he had it. That fish weighed 5.5 pounds. Wow. And I put it on the boga grip, and I read the wrong line, and I thought it said 6.5 the night before. So we went to bed and got up, and we pulled up the state record. And the state record is like 6.19, and so we're jumping up in the air, we're high-fiving. I think we caught a state record, and I bought my middle child a digital scale because they love weighing catfish we catch off the dock, and they're going to catch a state record catfish off the dock. You mark my word. And so we grabbed the digital scale, went down, put it on the digital scale, and it was 5.5 pounds. 5.5. But still a trophy catch.
That's huge.
Yeah, a big ocean liner.
Yes, it is.
So that was a fun day. Not a ton of fish, but we caught some good ones.
Some quality fish. And here they are here.
So we were down in St. Joe, staying at Presnell's. This is the last weekend of scallop season.
Okay.
And this was after the hurricane had come through, the first one that came through and hit Steenhatchee. And talking with some of the guys down there, it brought in a ton of mullet to the bay. Not that St. Joe doesn't already have a ton of mullet in the bay,
right,
but these mullet, they were marching down the sand grass line on the backside of Black's Island. And if you hear the backside of Black's Island, that's what everybody says about where to be, but that could be about anywhere in St. Joe Bay. But we were closer to the towers, and we got on that edge, and we just were watching these mullet just march down the line. And the oldest wanted to spear a mullet, so he had his little poke pole, and he was out there chasing them. And then we cast netted. They had more fun, honestly. We were cast netting the mullet, and we were dumping them on the bow. Oh. And when we would dump them on the bow, it was like the mullet roundup. And they would try, and some would flop off and some would, kick over, and they'd grab them and put them in. They probably had more fun doing that than anything on the whole trip. And then of course, we had to clean them and eat them.
Oh yeah, how cool! They follow tradition because they've done a lot of cast netting in generation to generation in St. Joe Bay. Here's a crew. Who all is here now?
My sister is the one on my right, on the picture to your left. My wife's on my left, and her family. We meet up and have been doing this for a few years now. She's in a little town called St. Mary's, Georgia, just north of Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. But we meet up about halfway in Steenhatchee. Okay. And we rent a boat out of the Sea Hag, and just kind of press the easy button and just go out and get what we can get. We don't really have any knowledge of where they are or what's going on, but generally speaking, if you find the boats, you can find some scallops.
Just look at the boat.
And so we go, and they have a great operation down there, and they have an awesome cleaning station. And so you can get, I think the next picture may show a little bit better of that, but the kids, it's high, it's right level for the kids, and they got great water flow, and it's easy to keep clean, and there's actually a professional crew next to us doing it, and it was an old woman and a couple other guys in there. That you could hire them to clean your scallops if you wanted to, which we didn't have a ton of them, so we just did it ourselves. But,
how cool! You didn't have a ton of them.
That may have been a different trip.
Holy cow! What? Now these come out of where?
So that was opening weekend, St. Joe, and we had a big crew of people. Yeah. And the last couple of years, we've actually put a big group together and gone to Black's Island. Okay. And that's an island that you look at, and I have growing up, done laps around it, caught a lot of fish around it, never really stepped foot on it, but you can rent those cabins. Yeah. And they're really, really nice, and air conditioning, full kitchens, I think 3 or 4 bedrooms each, big, and there's a big community area, big lawn. But we pulled up to the dock and cleaned our scallops and threw them all together, and that's what they made. It was good.
I can see that. Y'all had a feast.
It was good. The opening weekend in St. Joe was as good as I can ever remember it.
I heard it was really good. I missed that opening weekend. And listen, y'all stay there like for the whole weekend and just.
We come in Friday and leave Sunday.
Okay, what a way to do it.
It was. I think there was 6 families.
Okay, that's cool.
Everybody just convenes, and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. Now we're talking about other kind of fishing too. This next picture, we red fishing here. Tell us about this. This is nice.
So the gentleman in the middle, he is a legend in my mind. No, it's my cousin. He's actually my godson as well. But those are my 2 boys, middle and youngest, Sawyer and Carter. And we got some good knowledge of the right tide to be on from a good friend of ours that we know that fishes that area. And we were casting topwaters at these big bulls.
So you caught this on topwater?
Topwater.
Oh man!
And we caught some. The crabs are flowing through on the outgoing tide, and it would be. I grew up doing that in the past, and some around the Hathaway Bridge. But when the tide's strong and going out, and those crabs are coming out of the bays, the redfish are just annihilating them. I mean, absolutely just annihilating them. You could the grin I get. And the grins that come from my kids when that happens, and you can actually see it happening. It's like cannonballs falling in the water, and you're casting everything at them. We hooked up top water. The boys were netting up some of the crabs, and we cast them out. Yeah. So we caught them on top water, and we caught them on the little crabs.
That's a great picture.
My cousin was trying to catch one on fly.
Oh.
I should have shown that picture. He didn't have any success, but we did take a picture of one of the big ones with the fly rod.
Wow, that's strong. Okay, tell us about this boat picture right here. What is this?
We are in the boat business, and we have recently gotten our first shipment in of a metal boat line, aluminum boat called an all-weld, which a lot of people are familiar with. That's one thing that really stuck out to me about the brand is when we announced that we would be a dealer for All Weld, we immediately got phone calls, immediately got traffic about it before we even had a boat. Wanted to personalize one, wanted to know about how they could order one. So I knew immediately that we had a real winner with All Weld. And they have a product line from a small John boat, 14 foot, all the way up to an 18 foot. Price range, with a motor, somewhere in the low teens all the way into the low 30s. We're fortunate in that we're a Yamaha outboard dealer and a Suzuki outboard dealer. So we get the boats, and then we can hang whatever motor on there or you, the customer, what you want that fits for your needs. And we can accessorize them. We can put lights, we can put electronics, we can do any kind of arrangements you want with the seating. We can get as creative as you want.
That's good.
And folks use them for fishing and hunting.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's take a quick break. Come right back with Chris Kramer. Okay, real quick, let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 222 to 422 this morning after lunch, with a strong tide, 250 to 450. You get a chance to get out and get on the water. Speaking about get out on the water, Chris is with us, and I want to show 2 more pictures real quick so we don't forget them, because once we start talking, we're going to keep on talking. This picture real quick, tell us about this. I love this.
So it turns out that the responsibility of arranging the chain crew for the games falls on the band.
Okay.
And my brother's oldest child is now in the band.
At Bay High.
At Bay High. And William found out about that, and he knew we love football, and had mentioned the chain crew and how cool that would be. So he did not miss an opportunity to volunteer us to do it. But we got to do it the first game. We played North Bay Haven for Bay High, and it was a big win. And we had a blast doing it. Didn't know anything about what we were doing, but we learned pretty quick. And Ivan, whose son is a freshman there, who also went to Holy Nativity, he helps keep us straight there.
Okay.
But we're undefeated, because we actually held the chains in the game last weekend.
Okay.
Or last Friday
for
homecoming. Yeah, and not just any win. I mean,
that's cool.
It's take every advantage you can.
One more picture right here. I want to show you sweet wife in this picture. Tell us about this real quick.
She is a very sweet wife, and that dog, the little Brittany, is a little bit of a thorn in her side, because she escapes our house all the time. And I know sometimes before she does, because I get it on Facebook, on the Cove page. But that's the blessing of the pets. It's a really cool thing that the school does, that you can bring your pets in the morning, and they bless the pets, and the dogs get to meet each other, and the turtles and the fish and everything. But that was our Brittany is almost a year old this month. Her name's Cadillac. And then that is our yellow lab. That's Gage.
Okay. And speaking of Cadillac, we got to mention, I know you're in the boat business, but really, these cars and trucks, Kramer Chevrolet, first of all, let me give a testimonial. I guess the past 30 to 40 years, about 90% of my vehicles have come from Kramer.
And we're working on the other 10.
Are you? The other 10 were like a hand-me-down from my cousin or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And real quick, I have the AT4, absolutely love it. And Gail has that Traverse, and that is the best traveling. That's their favorite car she's ever had. So just a testimonial. But how's the car and truck business? Tell us about it.
It's been crazy. You talk about COVID and to where we are now, where we had no inventory. It was an interesting time. We're back to a level of inventory that we should have. We have got a great selection of inventory. Interest rates have come down a little bit. Our discounts are as strong as they've ever been. We've got Tahoes up to $9,000 off. We've got Silverado heavy duties up to $10,000 off.
Wow.
And we've got Silverado half tons up to $12,000 off. So those are huge discounts. You can really take advantage of that on something that you really want, the color you want, the equipment you want. We've got selection.
I'm not just saying it because Chris is here, but I've absolutely loved my truck. I get all kind of comments on it, and everybody wants to buy my truck from me. I tell them, head down there. But
yeah, send them our way. We'll take care of them.
Great quality. Okay, now, so you're in a unique position with cars and trucks and boats. I mean, so what made you decide to get in the marine business?
There's a need. I'm a boater. I've got needs for maintenance and repairs on my boats, and you talk to most boat dealerships and repair facilities, they're 2-3 weeks out, maybe longer than that. And you really, if you have a boat, your need may be like the next weekend. It may not be I can wait 2 or 3 weeks. So we were unique in that we have a service facility and have had it for 50 years, so we understood how the business flows and what people are expecting and what we expect as a customer. So we set out to create a boat dealership and repair and maintenance facility that would take care of customers like we want to be taken care of, where parts are available, where we get assessed pretty much immediately. If possible, we can and most of the time we can turn a routine maintenance or even a repower on an engine same day.
Wow.
That our goal is to get work in and get you guys taken care of and get it out in quality to where you don't continue to have problems. Get it done right. We'll come pick your boat up for you. We'll bring it to the shop. If we need to, we'll come work on it on your dock.
Wow. We'll
even deliver it back to your dock if need be. And that's, it's a service that I looked for. And don't get me wrong, I was taken care of over the years with my boat, but there was a need, and we're doing all we can to satisfy that and show appreciation for the work that we do.
That's awesome. You have a good inventory of boats. What all do you have? You can order them. You take it all well, and what else?
So the first marine product that we brought on, and is very fortunate to have a local rep that saw the potential with what we could do, and it's Yamaha outboards.
Okay.
So we're a loose engine Yamaha outboard dealer, and that's our main core business is service, maintenance, repair, and repowers on Yamahas.
Okay.
We also carry Suzuki, and we brought on Skeeter, which is owned by Yamaha. That's a bay boat where they have now 22 to 25 foot bay boats, a good selection, and then all weld.
Okay.
And we also carry Yamaha power products, generators, water pumps, lots of different parts. I would say we have between motors, loose motors, parts and accessories, we got the largest inventory of anybody in the area.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Chris, I told you we're going to run out of time. You got to come back because we got more stories to tell later on, and we appreciate this is a great selection of boats and motors down there. So we appreciate your sponsor and helping sponsor our show.
Yes, sir.
And, come back on soon.
You got it. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, man. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.